2012 was another dismal year for the Cleveland Browns. They finished with a 5-11 record. There really wasn't a bright spot. They finished 25th in the league in total offense, 23rd in total defense. They weren't a good team. They weren't fun to watch. And so now the reset button has been hit in Cleveland for the first time under new owner Jimmy Haslam. The Tom Heckert, Pat Shurmur era is officially done. In comes Joe Banner. Mike Lombardi is the VP of Player Personnel, and new head coach Rob Chudzinski. Chudzinski has been the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers for the last couple of seasons. It'll be a different task he faces in Cleveland, mainly because there is no Cam Newton on the Cleveland roster. Brandon Weeden, who started at quarterback this last season for the Browns, was a rookie and had ups and downs like most rookies, but Weeden's not your average rookie. He's nearly 30 years old because of the time he spent playing professional baseball. So I don't think this new regime is going to treat him like the average rookie. It remains to be seen whether he's going to be their quarterback of the future. I think at the very least, they're going to bring in some competition at the quarterback position. Now, outside of the quarterback position, Chudzinski has some things to work with on that offense. This is not a bare cupboard in Cleveland. Trent Richardson, the running back, who will be entering his second year, has the potential certainly to be an elite NFL back. Rushed for 950 yards and 12 touchdowns last year despite being hampered by injuries throughout the season. If he's fully healthy, he could be a real difference maker, and he's running behind maybe the best left tackle in all of football, the best offensive tackle period in football probably, Joe Thomas. Thomas is in the midst of his prime. He's been elected to the Pro Bowl in all 6 of his professional seasons, so not a bad building block to start with there. The best left tackle in football, a running back who could be elite. They have some intriguing young wide receivers. They have an all-purpose weapon in Josh Cribbs who can affect the game in many different ways. So Chudzinski has some pieces on offense if they can only get the quarterback situation settled. Now, they have every opportunity this offseason to settle that quarterback situation because they have a top 10 pick in the draft. They pick 6th in April's draft. And the Browns are also expected to have more room under the new salary cap than any team in the NFL outside of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I say they're expected to have because we don't know the final salary cap number yet. We won't know that till just before the new league year begins in March. But the Browns are expected to be just about $50 million under the cap. So this new regime, Joe Banner, Mike Lombardi, they have high draft choices and a lot of money to spend to try to upgrade this roster. Cleveland really has a decent defense in place. I know they finished 23rd in total defense, but I think they were a little bit better than the numbers would indicate. They were hurt with injuries and suspensions throughout the year, but when all the Browns defenders were healthy and on the field, they played like a top half of the league defense. Ray Horton is the new defensive coordinator in Cleveland. He spent the last couple of seasons in that same role with the Arizona Cardinals and did a nice job. If you remember the Cardinals, despite the fact they were a terrible team, they had a good defense this past year. So I think there's reason for optimism when you look at the Cleveland defense with some of the pieces they have in place. DeQuell Jackson, one of the most underrated linebackers in the entire NFL, and Joe Hayden could be a star at cornerback. So like we've said, it's a new rebuild starting in Cleveland right now under Joe Banner, Mike Lombardi, and Rob Chudzinski. They have plenty of money to start this rebuild. They have some high draft choices, and they have some good pieces already in place. So we'll see if these guys can revitalize a downtrodden franchise.